Welcome to Octomoves Member Spotlight, where we have Frank. Frank, please introduce yourself and share with us whatever you would like to share about yourself.
All right. So my name is Frank. I live in Germany. I'm 66 years old now. And yeah, I have been involved in sports activities my whole life. I'm in martial arts for more than 50 years now. And yeah, for a living, I was running a big fitness park for more than 30 years. And yeah, since March this year, I'm officially retired. So I have a lot of time now to take more new advantages. So
All
yeah,
right,
that's
we
it
have
mainly.
yeah, we have a martial arts experience. So, how does that relates with the rope flow for you?
Yeah, that's a funny thing because about 5 years ago, I had contact to cane training, which is self-defense with a walking stick. And I found this very interesting because that's the only, let's say, weapon that you can use and take outside. Other things you are not allowed because yeah, weapons are forbidden. So I found this very interesting and I got involved in that. And once you progress to sort of master level, then you are starting to make yeah, you train with two canes at the same time, and then you train with one cane and a rope. And so I thought, well, the rope is maybe a good thing to introduce to other caners because you can learn some movements more easy than with a cane. And
Hmm.
so I think I thought that there's more. And I was looking in the internet and had a look about road flow, and then I found your page, and so I got involved in that one. And yeah, now I'm doing a little bit rope flow.
All right, so what's your relationship with the rope flow? Is it like daily
uh,
practice or less?
yeah, first I started to do movements that we have in the cane training as well, like figure eights and some other stuff. And I found out that when you do, for example, figure eights and you need to work with your feet, um,
Hmm.
that is more easy to learn it with a rope than with a cane. My students, most times when they do their cane training, they stand still and don't move their feet. And with a
Hmm.
rope, it's more easy. So it's a help to progress. And yeah, slowly I got involved in more movements, and I thought, well, that's a good training as a warm up, for example. And so I was looking at the free course. There is a lot of stuff in there, and I tried to learn the dragon roll and things like that. And yeah, for about, let's say, 2 weeks maybe, I'm doing that daily.
All right, so that's nice. Since you learned from the free training, but you have like different training experience, so I guess you kind of developed your own training plan. So how your like training session looks like. Maybe you can share that with us.
Yeah, most times I start with the basics, like just swinging on the side or doing the figure eights. And then the next step normally is to do the figure eights overhand, underhand, and turn around.
Hmm.
And yeah, then it goes to the sushi roll. And that's it mainly because I'm just about to learn the sneak, which is I find it very difficult.
Hmm.
I don't know why, but I didn't figure it out so far. And yeah, cheetah's tail is far away. I cannot work behind my back at the moment. Um, it's difficult for me because I'm not used to it. So
Well,
that's the main thing I do at the moment.
yeah, I guess so. It's weird for many of people because it happens behind your back, and we are not
That's right.
used to it to do anything behind that, so we kind of limit it. from here and up front.
Yes,
And what's there, you
absolutely.
need more like tactile, sensational feelings, like what we're doing and how our body moves over there.
Yeah.
All right. Did you had any obstacles that stood out for you in this learning rope flow?
Obstacles as far as the training itself is concerned, or
Yes, maybe something that like was that obstacle stood up and you needed to overcome somehow, and you come up with a certain idea how you did
uh,
that.
yeah, I have a little problem since about 8 years, I think. I have a very narrow spine, and I had to go to hospital last year, and I had an operation on the cervical spine. And my problem is that the spinal cord inside is damaged. So I cannot feel my hands very well. And sometimes I have a little bit problems to walk. And so I was very, very careful what I do, because I have some metal in here. So
Mhm.
in the beginning, I was very careful, but then I started to do things like the dragon roll, where you have to go behind your back. So normally, I'm used to do everything in front of my body,
Mhm.
and this movement going behind the back, I think that helped a lot, because I I figured out about 1 week ago it started. So my hands began to change. The sensation that I had was very bad, and now it's becoming better. So of course I try to do more these movements, and I think
Mhm.
everything I do is relaxing the whole body, the whole upper muscle part on the back, which is, I think, for my special problem, really good thing.
Well, it sounds amazing. Like, like you
Yeah,
actually really progressing, and you almost in such a period, so short period of time, you feel the difference.
yeah, that's
It's
right. That's
and
that's the
thank
main
you for
reason that I get.
like I couldn't know that, and since like your martial arts and everything is like here you go, you have
Yeah,
something that you need to overcome, and it's a great story. It's really inspiring. So thank you about that.
yeah, that's the main reason why I get involved more and more, and I try to really do a lot of exercises every day, and
Hmm.
because I can feel that it helps very much, and you know, the feeling that I have in my hands is, you might know this through your surfing activity, when you're in the water and you have wet hands, and you
Yeah.
touch the beach, so you have sand, and that's the feeling I have all day long. And now through rope training, is really getting better. And I was really astonished about that, because I thought, okay, that's it. I cannot use the hands very good, so yeah, I have to cope with it. But it's not the case. So through the training, there is really changing something, and I'm very thankful that I found this training that helps me. That's
Well,
really great.
that's amazing. I wonder scientifically what's happening here for you. Is it like, is it because it's opening, or it's because like coordination more in your hands, so you need to kind of connect it fully to your brain and to
Yeah.
feel it. So yeah, it's interesting, and yeah, it's great. Love it. And
Yeah, I think
so
it's really a combination of everything, because the brain is really yeah, it's working more, and maybe that's the thing. So yeah, hopefully it will progress.
well, yeah, I hope that well too. So, did you notice any improvement in your cane practice after you started rope flow?
Yes, indeed, I did. Mainly everything that we do with the feet, like sway pivots and fast turning around and things like that. The cane is stiff, and that is sometimes really difficult. But with the rope, it's more fluent, and it helps the people to move smoother. And if you do that, then the cane practice is improving, and that's really great.
That's good. Did you had any insight that was really helpful in your rope flow practice during this learning period?
Inside, what do you mean with inside?
Well, that's something that you've been doing or like watching, trying to learn, and something clicked, and it's like eventually you're just like, okay, now I get it.
Yeah, I had this from time to time, but in the end, it didn't make click. I had this, for example, I'm training the sneak at the moment,
Mhm.
and it's quite difficult for me. And from time to time, I thought, oh, now I got it, and then no, it wasn't that. So yeah, it's difficult because the movements are totally different from what I learned in all my life in martial arts. Because
Mhm.
in karate, for example, you do things like one hand goes forward, one goes backward, and that's really easy. But in the rope flow, it's going in all directions. So the hands are doing different things. Right is doing this, left is doing this, and in karate you're not used to it. So that's a whole new world. So yeah,
Yeah,
you have really go into.
it's a coordination world, and I don't know actually how it correlates, but it would be interesting how it correlates with some juggling practice, for example. Uh,
Yeah,
we know like these things improves mobility because you kind of get into positions that are end range of motion of your capabilities. But as well, it requires you to do like such things that like one is like touching, another is like rolling. So
yeah,
basically, one hand does one thing, another does another thing, and well, this is kind of coordination. So you just split it half and a half what you need to do it, and you do it.
that's right.
Yeah. Alrighty. What else I do want to ask you? One of the yes, the casual question. What would you advise for our rope flow practitioners or who just starting it?
Oh, that's a difficult question because I'm so new. I cannot give any advice, I think. But as long as I know from my practice in martial arts, is the main thing is to stick with the basics in the beginning. That will help to improve everything. And the main thing that I like very much is you tell it always, go slow, so later you can go fast. And that's the main thing, I think. To go too fast will not help you. But as long as the practice itself is concerned, I cannot say anything about it. I'm uh, I'm not experienced enough.
Well, that's a good advice. It's just don't rush. Practice the foundational skills,
Yeah,
and in my consideration, so for the foundational skills are the figure eights over and underhand, matadors, and dragon rolls.
yeah,
Sneak is a bit of combination of the two, or basically it's kind of matador if you look to the pattern what the rope draws. So, and from that angle, it can look like a dragon roll, but it's the combination of the two. So basically, the good figure eights and understanding in both sides, matadors and the dragon rolls, combining them all together. That's a foundational moves. That's the basics. Cheetah's tail is basically the figure eight, but just behind your back. So then
yeah.
you get like more idea what's happening over there. So we have like one in front, other in the back. So basically, the I sometimes I call like a butler move, the sneak, like you can do. So you're passing the bowl of soup, and and you're kind of having one hand behind of you, and it's just like bending, giving that bend. So yeah, personally, I still spend quite time doing these patterns, as you mentioned in your practice, as like structure. So starting usually, well, I usually start either matador or a dragon roll, depends the angle. And then you can get into figure eights as well, because figure eights is actually the faster pattern compared to matador. Matter more with hands, so it's slower if we looking to the spine when you're changing direction.
Yeah.
So figure eights is way faster. Most of people in beginning we do a lot of from hands and shoulders. That's what's tiring with shoulders. But eventually we start using spine, and it actually requires quite a lot of spine rotation, either to both sides, and it's quite fast compared to matador, where it's slower. And the dragon roll is it's opening the chest, the thoracic spine, and just moving with like not as big patterns compared to AVT.
Yeah.
All right. Would you like to share anything else with us today?
I think mainly that's it. At the moment, I cannot say much because, well, let's say one fortnight, 2 weeks, I was training a little bit more. Um, Maybe in half a year, I can tell you more about my training and give some more ideas.
How
But
long you
at
been
the moment,
training now?
sorry,
How long you been training now, ropeflow, in
uh,
total?
in total, I started about 2 months ago. Yeah, that's it.
So you have brief introduction into practice and the culture of it, community.
Yeah, I
I
was, I
get like
was, yeah, I was thinking that this is new sport, and some people are just starting. And when I looked around on the internet, I saw that there are so many people. They are so experienced. They are so good in everything what they do. And when I hear member spotlight, sometimes people are just training for 1 year, and they are so brilliant. That's incredible. There are really a few people I like very much, and it looks so easy, but it's not.
all right. So what's your favorite rope flow practitioner?
um, I think she was in the member spotlight as well. I think Nina
Mm-hmm.
Banaak. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
Nina
really great. Yeah, and then there is one guy from Wiesbaden in Germany, southern part.
Nidal. Yes.
Yeah, genau. Yeah, that's it, Nida, and he's great. Yeah, but in the south. In the north, we don't have anything. So yeah, maybe we can build up something and get people interested. Maybe we can introduce it in the local
Exactly.
clubs around here. Would be great.
All right, Frank. So that was pleasure to talk with you. Thank you for sharing your story and your thoughts about the rope flow. And yeah, thank you everybody for listening and tuning in. And may the flow be with you.
Yeah.